Met Matt and Andrew several years ago. Just really awesome guys as far as giving the information, really making the industry better. They care about the contractors. They care about, really how the whole process works. And then they're very honest as far as when we have a claim, to give us their honest opinion as far as whether or not we want to pursue that or not. And then once they, receive that claim, they really do a great job at following up with the homeowners, making sure that they're representing our company, because at the end of the day, our client is trusting us to put them in touch with the best in the industry.
I've met with a lot of firms. I've had these situations before, but I haven't found anybody as good as Merlin and as dedicated to what they do. They're not here to make you happy. They're here to win.
What's up, everybody? Lead meteorologist Sean Choquette here on this Thursday evening, and we got a storm here moving into Abilene, Texas. We've already had a pretty big storm a little bit earlier, so we've already made a 5-star map today. So the way everything works here, They'll Trace, we kind of just put all the state maps together as just one big map. So St. Angelo, Texas, earlier this evening while I was eating dinner, got impacted with a crazy storm, up to softball size hail, and the duration was crazy, having hail fall for I think over 40 minutes. So that storm was wild, and now the reason why we're live here is I'm able to catch a different storm that's happening, and we have a pretty big storm moving into Abilene, Texas right now. From a couple pictures we saw Merkel, Texas, we saw a golf ball size hail, and I think near an Air Force base around 2-inch hail. So if you're looking at the radar here on the left hand side of the radar, we have left hand side of the screen, we got the radar, the reflectivity, which you normally see on the news, and on the right hand side of the screen, right above my head, we have the correlation coefficient, or CC, which detects large objects in the sky with our dual pol radar. And the lower the values, so the brighter the colors, like the greens and the blues and yellows, the larger the hail that it is detecting. So last couple frames here in Ty, Texas, you saw quite a bit of those greens, yellows, and blues, likely seeing upwards of golf ball size hail right along or north of I-20, and it's going to be moving into Abilene momentarily here. So it looks like the direction this thing's moving in is probably going to hit the north sides of Abilene, so pretty much probably north of, what's this road that goes right through the middle of town? I think, what is this highway here? First Street. So pretty much north of First Street, that is where you're probably going to see that hail ranging from that probably quarter golf ball, maybe 2 inches in diameter here. So it's about that time we had some hail. This May has sucked, yes. Yeah, we've been pretty quiet the last week or so, and in the past 48 hours, it looks like Texas is really trying to make up for lost ground and for not having a mega storm in Dallas. So they're trying to make mega storms in every other city across the state of Texas. So again, this will be added to the San Angelo map here. Looks like, again, pretty big hail, pretty nice looking storm. Again, a lot. You see those lower CCs right along I-20. You're probably seeing that golf ball size hail. Pretty large quantities of it, and not too much melting going on, so probably upward, maybe even up to 2 inches in diameter. Very tall storm, looks like here. Looks like, yeah, it keeps pretty much maintaining its strength as it keeps pushing off to the east. So I think Abilene, okay, all right, so we're now warned for tennis ball size hail. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing tennis ball size hail, especially on the southern edge of the storm here. So, again, like right along I-20. So, you have the red line here. That is Interstate 20 and a classic looking supercell. So, you have, let me get my pen up here, guys. I think somebody said in there it's a good looking cell, and I agree. Let me throw on here. I can draw. It's like the screaming eagle, so it's like the eagle's wings, like that. So kind of get like the, I'm not gonna keep drawing it, like the wings, body, like the talons would be like right there. Yeah, so that's my god-awful drawing. We can get rid of that. And so that's sort of what the storm is doing right now. The classic-looking supercell gets excellent inflow, so you can basically, it has the engine for the storm has plenty of undisturbed air to keep this thing going as it's pushing into Abilene here. And yeah, it's generally just moving almost due east, east-northeast. So northern half of Abilene likely about to see some pretty big hail here in a minute, guys. So we're just going to be here. We're kind of watch and see how this thing plays out. See if we're adding to that 5-star map that we've already made today earlier in San Angelo. I wonder, do I have the radar for this? That storm is actually still going if I can roll it back. This was from earlier. Almost. I almost got it back to when it was actually hitting San Angelo. So the storm that impacted San Angelo is now well away from San Angelo. So going down Highway 87. But man, oh man, that thing was a monster. Dropping up the softball size hail. Saw some pretty wild pictures out of there. But this is the next storm moving in. And you see the much lower CCs here. Again, right above my head. Like literally right above my head. We have probably some pretty large hail falling here along the Arnold Boulevard. And over by Marigold Street in far, far western Abilene. And this is pretty much moving almost due east. So it's going to be crossing into crossing the Winters Freeway, which I believe is just the loop that goes around Abilene, and moving into the city proper here in just a second. I saw a softball pick from San Angelo. Yes, there were quite a few. We'll have that posted on our Facebook page. We haven't had that posted because there's been storms going on, along with the fact that we have another storm moving in. So things are going to be changing as everything's going here. So looks like we're going here. Yes, so yeah, this is all available right now. Again, this is being mapped live, so the San Angelo map's included with this one. So if somebody, I think Frank or somebody, if they can tag the map, we throw the map in the comments section, we can tag it for you, so you can go check that out, jump straight to it, as seeing how this storm is going to be definitely adding to what we've already seen here in San Angelo. Again, the storm's moving into Abilene right now. Again, large hail, so you get to see all those greens and blues. When those greens and blues are showing up here on the screen, that's what you want to see. You want to see that large hail. So definitely, again, probably hail maybe close to tennis ball size here, right along as far south as 1st Street up to about I-20, probably up to tennis ball size hail. Probably not super large quantities of it. It's not just pouring tennis balls or anything, but you're definitely seeing probably minimal rain and quite a bit of hail. I'm willing to bet if I switch over to a couple of parameters. Yeah, so there probably isn't going to be a whole hell of a lot of rain mixing on the southern edge of the storm. So the southernmost edge of the storm, that's where your best chance for that really big hail is going to be moving into the Abilene area right now. Elsewhere across the country, not a lot to talk about. A couple other storms going on in rural Texas. Storm up to the north of Abilene. These will not make it to DFW. If you are wondering, it's definitely going to die out probably before it even gets to like Stephenville. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch up into Oklahoma for these storms that are moving towards Dodge City, and then they will eventually move down into the Oklahoma City area. Likely could see some storms maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning here. And let's see. Okay, yeah, it got pinned. Excellent. Yeah, so it's pinned on the comments there, so you can check it out. Booze and the DFW, man. Yeah, I know you guys will want this to make it all the way across I-20 and get to the DFW Metroplex, but I am not seeing this storm surviving that long. There isn't enough to keep this thing kind of going, probably much beyond Abilene. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this thing die by the time it gets right past Abilene, Texas. So this might be its last little hurrah here as we are continuing to move to the east. These things are moving pretty slow. I've been watching this for a little while now, waiting to kind of go live. I saw it over back by Merkel and just kept watching it move off to the east here. So we're getting towards into the city of Abilene right now. Okay, I can't see the echo tops too well because we are getting close to the radar. So we got another radar frame update here. The large hail is definitely moving into the whole city of Abilene now. You're probably seeing a lot of rain in the majority of, if you're north of 1st Street in Abilene, Texas, you're seeing that rain. And if you're right along the West Loop here, I believe it is the Winters Freeway, north of 1st Street and south of I-20, that's where that large hail is going to be right now, probably ranging from about, I'd say, just from what I'm looking at from this particular frame, 1/4 to 2-inch hail in diameter here as this continues pushing. We just sent out an alert for the 2-inch hail. How about velocity map? Yeah, we can check out the velocities. I'm not seeing too much. This thing is definitely just a hailer. Back over by Merkel, yeah, maybe a little bit of rotation, but it's mostly just in the mid-levels. So you want to have good mid-level rotation to make large hailstones, keeps them suspended in the air a little bit longer. But in terms of tornadic potential, I'd say this is very low on the totem pole here. I think you don't have too much to worry about that. Probably just just large hail moving into here again. We just sent an alert for 2-inch hail. I'd agree with that assessment. I think there might have been some near tennis ball size hail, but you can see this is from the frame before. This was at 10:46 p.m. and now here at 10:49 p.m. There isn't quite as much of the greens and blues as there was in the previous radar frame a few moments ago. So as this continues moving to the east, we'll see how large this hail is. I'm sure we will start getting reports in fairly soon. The meteorology team is on there checking things out too, so we'll probably get some pictures once the storm passes a little bit here. We don't obviously get them instantaneously. People, especially here at nighttime, it's about 11 o'clock. A lot of folks might be asleep, and if we get a lot of reports, we get a lot of pictures, especially when a storm happens at night. That usually means it's a good storm because it wakes people up. So we'll see how good this one is. I'm willing to put money down. This is not going to be as good of a storm as the San Angelo storm earlier. The San Angelo storm looked very impressive with incredibly... It's hard to beat a 40-minute hail time with up to softball size hail. Like, that's nuts. So, and the majority of that city got absolutely blasted this evening. It was a pretty crazy storm. I didn't realize San Angelo is as large as it is either. I didn't know it had about 100,000 people in it. So five for sure, 5-star map. So that's 2 days in a row. Lubbock was yesterday, so we had San Angelo today, and then Abilene maybe adding to that. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, there's a risk for some hail as well. We'll see if maybe we can get some hail Oklahoma City, or if not Oklahoma City, if we can get a boundary far enough south, possibly even DFW. We'll see. I'm not going to make any calls until tomorrow morning when we have everything going on. And then, yeah, Kansas City does have a potential as well. I don't want to jinx it, though. I know a lot of our viewers here, every time those two words come out of my mouth, they assume that that's the end of the risk. So I just won't talk about it right now. So looks like in terms of our hail indicator, still seeing up about 2 inches. So it's pretty much been maintaining its strength. It's kind of a weird looking storm. It's a little guy, but in terms of what I'm seeing here, we haven't had a radar frame update quite yet, but it is looking pretty impressive still. Just gonna kind of wait and see if we can get any reports to come in here on. Okay, it's in the path of the tennis ball size hail is what they said. Don't have any confirmation of hail sizes quite yet. If this thing makes it all the way to the east side of town, they'll likely, whoops, that's not the radar I wanted, they'll likely have the official report. Okay, so we got another radar update here. And the CC's correlation coefficient is looking very impressive. You have a lot of that's lowering in terms of a lot of the greens and blues and yellows. You want to see, especially the greens and blues, if you want to see that really big hail. All on the west side of Abilene as we speak. Here's an intersection for you guys, like North Pioneer Drive and North 10th Street. Again, this is just to the east of the Winters Freeway. And this is moving generally to the almost due east. So the biggest hail is probably going to go across the entirety of the northern section of Abilene, Texas here. I'm willing to bet that we're seeing a 2-inch hail. Let me bring up a couple other things. yeah, willing to see probably about 2-inch hail. I wouldn't quite say tennis balls unless I get proven wrong here in a minute. I'm erring on the side of caution just a little bit because our parameter that shows melting in the atmosphere, it's kind of indicating that there's a bit of melting going on, so I'm willing to bet that that's probably going to, again, maintain that 2-inch hail, and then as this continues moving to the east. So areas downstream a little bit here, they're going to be impacted in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Kirkwood Street and 15th Street, 12th Street, pretty much anywhere along and east of Westmoreland Street in Abilene. And if you are along or north of 1st Street in Abilene, Texas, that's where your best chance of seeing hail. So if you're to the south, you're probably seeing a ton of lightning, hearing a lot of thunder, but likely not seeing too much going on. So let's see. Adam Goldberg saying, load up the RV and head to San Angelo. Thanks for the heads up. Tennis ball size. Perfect. All right, no problem, man. You can check out our maps and pinned at the top of the discussion as well if you need some of that guidance for you, or if just log into your account, you got an account with us, you can go check it in, and if you're wanting to know, you can also kind of check in on this storm as we're mapping it. If you subscribe with us, you're able to see everything get updated live. So obviously this storm's ongoing, but you'll see the map kind of update as the storm continues to push across the city here. And if you have our push notifications turned on for Texas or City Abilene or whatever it may be, you also get those alerts as well. If golf ball size hail or larger and its population of 10,000 or more, we will send out the alert for what size of hail we're thinking and intersections that we are thinking as well. We sent out quite a few earlier for St. Angelo because when you have a storm sitting over a city for 45 minutes, you're sending them a lot because we send them every other radar frame. It's about every 6 or 7 minutes. So for however long it needs to be. And I think we'll be probably sending alerts out here for Abilene as this continues pushing off. So take a moment here to thank our sponsors. You saw a couple of them here, and if you've been watching us since the beginning, C3 Group and Merlin Law Group. They're also in the description below. I don't know if they're tagged properly at the moment, but they will be at some point. And also Balance Claims and Art of the Supplement. You can check them out as well. As we wait for the next radar frame update, I'm actually going to throw on just 15 seconds. This will still be in the corner. You can still hear me as well. Go check out our Supplement's Facebook page. Go give them a like. When they were doing, I don't know if they're still doing it now, but they do a lot of cool live stuff. And, actually, we got a radar update. So, they do a lot of cool live stuff, and we were on there. So, yes. Yeah, Orlando, Florida also was impacted. So, we had some storms, just kind of pop up Florida variety storms, usually not that big of a deal. Storm goes up, drops some hail and dies. This time it dropped up to 3-inch hail in Sanford, Florida, which was very unusual for this time, for that part of the country. In terms of, for a Texas storm, it probably wasn't insane, but for a Florida storm, that's probably pretty crazy. Quite a bit of that large hail, so pretty intense here. So this radar frame update. The CCs aren't as good as they were just a moment ago. I'm wondering if it's just a little blip or if the storm's starting to die a little bit. Yeah, so when we go back, you see all those low CCs, all the greens showing up, and then pushing to the east, the greens kind of disappeared a little bit. So either the storm, the hail core, is pushing off to the north, or it's just a little blip on the radar for a second. We'll kind of see if maybe this thing is, again, I said it, I wouldn't be surprised if the thing doesn't make it past Abilene, so it could just be kind of dying over the city, but we'll see how that pans out. I'm willing to bet we're still seeing at least quarter size hail across areas like, say, Graham Street and or by North 18th Street. We'll kind of see. Right now, not as impressive as it did a few minutes ago, so we'll kind of see where this goes. So yeah, for Sanford, Florida, that one was pretty impressive by Florida standards for sure. Anytime you get 3-inch hail in the state of Florida, that's always a big deal. It doesn't happen too much. Probably not as good if you guys remember the storm last March that was over by Cocoa Beach, that crazy storm. Probably not like that. That one was probably one of the craziest Florida storms I've ever seen, but it was definitely, for Orlando standards, probably pretty good. So definitely check that out. It was a 3-star map. It didn't hit a whole ton of stuff. Again, pulse storms, they go up, they drop hail over one little area, and that's kind of the end of that. So that's what kept it from being a higher star ranking. We'll have a full recap video for it as well. If you have the map, you can go check out. We'll obviously have a recap video for this once storms actually stop, and I have all the stuff that I can recap. for you guys. So you can check that out as well. So as we're waiting for another frame update, see if this thing's gonna die, let's just do a quick little shout out to Art of the Supplement. Go check out their Facebook page. Here's John Dye.
John here with Art of the Supplement, and I wanted to invite you to our brand new Facebook group, Art of the Supplement Nation. We've assembled the industry's top experts to bring you the best answers to all your insurance restoration questions. It's on Facebook, not MySpace. Delete that. You don't need MySpace anymore. Check it out. Facebook.
Yeah, so go check them out. Again, one of our sponsors that helps make this happen. He'll make it, 11 o'clock at night here. I'm doing this coverage for you guys. And thanks for tuning in. I mean, I know this isn't a DFW storm, where I know for a fact if this thing was impacted, if this was hitting Fort Worth, I'd probably have about 200 people on here. But right now it looks okay. So we got this latest update. Okay, I think this storm is definitely starting to weaken a bit. Again, it's starting to fall apart a little bit as we are moving through Abilene. So I think the biggest hail is going to be focused really in on that westernmost section of town, over by the what did I say? What's this highway again? The Loop, like Winters Freeway or something like that. Yeah, Winters Freeway, and then especially the town of Ty and Merkel. All these towns along I-20. I know not super big, but these also have that big hail that I know for a fact happened. And here, again, that western sides of Abilene. You can see the storm really starting to kind of die. It's getting away from that main area of instability and fuel for the storm. So, again, it's probably going to get to the east side of Abilene and completely evaporate. And I know, folks, there's Dallas-Fort Worth way down the line. There's no way these things are going to make it that far. So quite a bit of activity. Definitely, this is being added to the San Angelo map, which was already a 5-star map. So this is kind of supplementary to that. Nice little storm to add to it. I don't think Abilene's had any activity in a little while here. So the area's west side of town, definitely a nice new date of loss for you guys. Again, probably, I'm willing to bet we had up to 2-inch hail there. And this swath may just very quickly end as this thing's starting to kind of fall apart on us. Over here by Albany, Texas, we have another storm that, it's starting to get a little messy as these things are kind of getting out of the better instability. Elsewhere, dang, we got a tornado warning on this guy over by, and this is all in pretty rural Texas here. They will not make it all the way to Austin, Texas, to I-35 corridor. I assure you, they will probably die out before they even get close to there. And then off to the north, yes, severe thunderstorm watch, all the way to about Kingfisher, Oklahoma, for this activity back by Dodge City. This is going to be like 4 or 5 in the morning by the time it gets over to Oklahoma City. And what this activity up to the north in Kansas does tonight and into tomorrow morning is going to determine what we see for anywhere between Oklahoma City and Dallas tomorrow. So we have these things leave what we call outflow boundaries, basically little trails and like a trigger, almost like like a stick of dynamite. You got the oh my god, the wick, So like that's pretty much what these do. They leave a little boundary for instability. If they kind of hang out in one spot, a storm can form and go right into it. So is it going to shoot to the south like happened last week, where we had an outflow boundary that just shot all the way down to the Red River, killed everything in Oklahoma? Or are we going to get something that kind of hangs out around OKC, maybe south by Ardmore, maybe even it makes the journey all the way down Dallas, and we have storms by Dallas. So that's why we're, the forecast today was kind of vague. We're not really going to know what this all is going to do until we see that tomorrow morning. Somebody asked about Granbury, Texas. Hopefully, it'd be cool if it made it all the way over there. These storms aren't going to make it there, though. This storm is probably going to have a hard time making it out of Abilene. I believe their warning has even toned down a little bit. Yeah, now down to ping pong ball size hail. I'm willing to bet if there is any ping pong ball size hail, it's right along I-20 and the far northern reaches of Abilene here. I-20 and Clinton Street. Ooh, zoomed in a little too much. You see where the CC is right above me, a little bit lower. If you want to find that hail, you gotta get those higher reflectivity. So you see the pink and then the greens and the yellows. Yeah, so that hail is really just kind of riding I-20 right now. I-20 and Westlake Road. And then it's going to pull away from the majority of the population here in Abilene pretty soon. So this is going to be wrapping up pretty soon here, guys. So I may end up wrapping this up in a little bit. So again, this is being added to the San Angelo map, so don't worry, you don't have to get 2 separate maps to see everything that happened in Texas today. All the other stuff that happens in Texas as well is all being added to this one big mega map. So we got the 5-star map for San Angelo. Abilene's helping a little bit, getting probably about 2-inch hail. Again, western sides of town, maybe some ping pong ball, maybe the occasional golf ball by impact on the far northern sides of Abilene, right along I-20. And it's going to continue moving off to the north and east and rapidly weakening. The storm looks like trash now compared to what it did when I first got on the stream here while I was over by Ty. Starting to fall apart. I'm willing to bet the top of the storm just fell off, more or less. And this is going to continue dying as it moves off to the northeast towards the radar and then petering out and leaving nothing for DFW for later on. So I think I'm probably going to wrap this up here after this next radar frame. So we had one at 4:04, or not 4:04, at 11:04 p.m. So 4:04 UTC time, and going. So I'll probably get the next one next couple minutes here, and then after that, I'll probably wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I mean, again, it's 11 o'clock here on a Thursday. Surprise little storm. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing, liking, following, subscribing, whatever it is, whatever channel you're watching or platform you're watching this on. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our 10-year anniversary video tomorrow. We'll have a full forecast again tomorrow. 2 days in a row of Derek having to wear his green suit. I think he's out chasing right now, so we'll see what's going on. So, let's see, anything? Nope, still just kind of waiting for this, but yeah, thanks everybody. We'll have recap videos for these up, probably both for the Orlando storm and for this one, at the very least, tomorrow morning early. So you can go check out what we're thinking the best areas are. Chances are the recap video for this Texas one's going to almost exclusively focus on San Angelo. I'll try to make a mention of Abilene. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to our pages. And if you want to contact Hail Trace, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. I don't know if anyone's going to answer right now. It's 11 o'clock at night, but you call super early tomorrow, people will be answering the phones. Everyone's aware that storms are happening, and make sure you're all set up. Anything head to Fort Worth? Unfortunately, probably not. These things are going to die before they make it to Fort Worth. Now, if I'm proven wrong and storms do end up hitting there, I'm sure none of you guys will complain. So I'm not too concerned either way on that one. I know if I'm going to be wrong, I go wrong the way that's beneficial, right? So, we'll see. Now, of course, we should be getting a radar frame update any second now, because I'm pretty much just waiting for that one. But we are safe in Dallas. The cap is awesome. Yes, the cap. The cap is crazy in Dallas. Sometimes it's a blessing and a curse occasionally. Sometimes the cap will hold till about 1 o'clock in the morning, like in June of 2018, and drop 3-inch hail in Carrollton. And other times you'll see a perfectly good storm heading right for them, and it evaporates in front of your eyes. So that's kind of what's happening this time. So looks like, yeah, we're pulling away. We are now to the east of I-20 here on the north sides of Abilene. So I think we are going to wrap it up pretty soon here. Fate, Texas. Ooh, I don't totally know where Fate, Texas is at. So I can't tell you either way. If it's really close to Abilene, maybe. If not, probably not. Chances are, unless you are within probably about 50 miles of the storm by Albany, by Abilene, by Eden, or by Richland Springs, chances are you're not really going to see too much hail out of this stuff today. So again, it looks like the storm is beginning to pull away here. Oh, Fate is DFW. Oh, okay. You guys all got your... I try really hard to remember all the names, but there are a crap ton of towns all mixed into the DFW Metroplex. So forgive me if I don't know all of them off the top of my head. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to wrap this up now. I help out the team and hopefully get some sleep, because I think we might see some activity tomorrow as well as we head into Memorial Day weekend. So see you guys tomorrow. We'll have those review videos up probably early in the morning, and then 12 p.m. Central Time we'll recap everything and do the forecast for the day as well. So do those hill dances. Maybe we can get something into DFW to cap off a pretty active week here in Texas. See you guys later.